What's up, PPW Nation? Big Sean Kramar's here. It is that time, your favorite time of the month. The preview show, Reborn, is this Saturday live from the Signature Training Academy in Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania. And that brings the best people together. With me, as always, up to the left is going to be Coach Juliana and Tom Mitchell. Welcome back. We missed you last month, buddy.
Hey, I miss you guys too. I'm happy to be back, and hey, the three of us together, it's like the Shield all coming together, man. The three powers is all forming together. So pumped to get this episode started, man.
Let's do it. How you feeling tonight, Coach?
I'm feeling great, man. Anytime you're a week out from a PPW event, I'm always feeling good. The vibes are great. Super excited. Got a massive card that we're going to talk about here. I can't wait to get to talking about, but certainly fired up to be on here with Tom Mitchell. Missed him last month, so we'll give him, I'll have him run some laps now at the Signature Training Academy for I was skipping out on this last month. But other than that, fired up to be here, Big Sean.
Absolutely. It's always a good time when there's a PPW show in the very short horizon, and this coming Saturday is potentially once again one of the biggest shows we've ever put on. And of course, headlining the night, we are so excited and so proud to welcome for the very first time to the Signature Training Academy and PPW Killer Kross. Fresh out of NXT, fresh out of being the former NXT champion, looking to make an impact in his return to the independent wrestling scene and looking to start strong in PPW. We're so excited to have him. How do you guys feel about that, guys?
Well, again, Killer Kross. Oh, all right. Don't worry. I'll kick it off, Coach. Don't worry. I got this. Killer Kross, man. I'm pumped to see Killer Kross in action. I was a big fan of his in NXT back in his days in Impact. He was just an absolute tank, man. He's a killer, and I'm excited to see what he does now he's back on the independents.
Coach, what about you, brother?
Yeah, absolutely right. And Tom, I couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, you're talking about one of the biggest names, not just in independent professional wrestling, but in professional wrestling as a whole. And he could have picked multiple promotions to go back for his return to the wrestling ring. He chose PPW, and that just really says it all about the level of respect that PPW has among the best competitors in professional wrestling. He's walking into the snake pit right now. I mean, you talk about going up against a guy like Davey Richards, an Opera Cup winner, an incredibly good athlete, also coming off of an injury. It's going to be very interesting to see, but I think it just speaks to the level of respect that PPW has amongst the elites of professional wrestling.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we'll get in depth into that contest later and share our thoughts back and forth. There's a lot to get into tonight. We started right there, but Tom Mitchell, how about you break us off with the first match for the night? Let's get this discussion started hot and heavy right now.
Oh, it doesn't get any hotter and heavier than the PPW Heavyweight Championship. We have Bro Keller, All Energy, defending his PPW Heavyweight Gold against the Mecca, Brian Johnson. Now, Brian is a Ring of Honor star who has traveled all over the country, has done some big, big things at Ring of Honor, and hey, he's looking to bring the PPW Championship to his resume. Coach, what do you think about Brian Johnson?
Well, obviously, like you said, Tom, Brian, very seasoned competitor, a guy who's, not much you're going to throw at Brian Johnson that he hasn't already seen or probably hasn't seen twice. A guy that, again, very well-traveled in this business, and usually the most well-traveled guys are the most skilled. And I think Brian saw this opportunity here in PPW to go up against a champion that in Bro Keller who's making waves. Bro Keller has been time and time again, he touted himself as the fighting champion, and he has given us no reason to believe he is not that when he has been at his best, when his best has been required. And I see no difference coming on Saturday night for Bro Keller.
Solid points, Coach, for sure. You're right. Bro Keller is on a roll. It's been the Bro Show for the better part of the entire time that PPW has been back since our return. Bro Keller's put down challenger after challenger after challenger after challenger after challenger, and I could go on for another 5 minutes, and I wouldn't be singing enough praises to our heavyweight champion. Somebody to be very proud of, but this is a very scary challenge, in my opinion, for one Bro Keller. The Mecca Brian Johnson, this is one angry man. This is somebody that I try to avoid. You see him, he could randomly punch a wall, punch a hole in a door. This man is just at 10 at all times, and that's something Bro Keller's got to watch out for. His laid-back, let's-go attitude, when it comes to being friendly with people, he's going to have to watch out because he might just get slapped in the face before the match even starts.
You see, it's funny you bring up being slapped in the face. A couple months ago, last time Brian Johnson was in PPW, I was very afraid that I was randomly just going to get rocked during the middle of my interview with him. Brian Johnson's a scary, intimidating dude. who backs up every single word that he claims. This is going to be a great fight. I'm excited for this one for sure.
Tom Mitchell, I got to ask you straight out of the gate. So on the social medias, I saw a post a couple of days ago from the Mecca himself with your beautiful face, talking about some choice words about if some idiot, well, you're not an idiot. We all know that. The Mecca's totally wrong there. I'll stick up for you in that regard. But he's really hoping he doesn't see you again. Let's let the public know right now, how much courage does one Tom Mitchell have? Is Tom Mitchell going to seek out what the people want? Is Tom Mitchell going to try to speak with the Mecca Brian Johnson this coming Saturday at Reborn?
Well, I always try to give the people what they want. If the people want a word with Brian Johnson before his match, after his match, during his match, whenever I can get a word with Brian Johnson, I'm going to try my best to do so. And I'm willing to put my body in the way if that's what it takes to get what the PPW Nation needs.
I was gonna say nobody would think any less of you if you sent Coach in or tagged in Coach for this one. Even though you may be putting Coach in harm's way, the Mecca just doesn't really like to be talked to at all. So guys, I got to put you both on the spot right now because I'm not going to be that guy this month. I'm not going to be the guy caught in the corner. And because it's the first time all three of us together, me and Tom Mitchell are going to have a laugh right now because Coach, you are on the spot. Give us your lowdown on who's going to win this contest and why right now.
I would say Bro Keller. I just don't. He has given us no reason to doubt him in moments like this. He has stepped up time and time again. And again, I don't see why. There's no reason he won't do it again. So I'm going to take Bro Keller here on the eve of the Super Bowl to perform at an incredibly high level, no different than Matthew Stafford will as he leads the Rams to a Super Bowl the day after.
The prediction king here. He's got football predictions. You got anything for the stock market? Anything else? What else could you coach us on right now?
I see he's getting some bets. I saw.
Oh my goodness! You got to do it. Yeah, you got to eat somehow, right?
Yeah.
Tom Mitchell, you're up. You're on deck. Give us your thoughts.
Well, you see, Brian Johnson in that tweet where he called me and I quote jackass. He did mention next time I would be interviewing him would be when he was PPW champion. And I'm not one to argue against Brian Johnson when he makes claims like that. When Brian Johnson says something, he does it. And I don't know if you call this an upset. It's only an upset to the fans who don't know who Brian Johnson is because Brian Johnson is that dude, and he will be our next PPW heavyweight champion.
Wow, that's a huge prediction. That's a big time prediction going against the Bro Show. Not what I expected to hear from you either, Tom Mitchell. Wow, it's a match that you guys are gonna want to see. I'll tell you what. We write the stories great here, and this is a contest of a man climbing a mountain again, and that's all Bro Keller's done his entire championship reign. So come see if it's going to continue. Come see if the Cinderella story continues its run. The only way to do so, and the only way to experience the rush and the thrill that is a live PPW event, is to be there in person at the Signature Training Academy. Now, from what I've been told from the impeccable Paul Bowe, remaining tickets are very limited. Fronts are gone, and I heard that everything else is in short supply as well. So the best way to ensure that you do not miss out when it comes to Saturday at the Signature Training Academy, of course, is to head over to ppwwrestling.com/shop immediately and secure your seat and be a part of history as we are reborn this coming Saturday.
There's no doubt about it, guys. You do not want to miss this event. Go to ppw.com/shop. Make sure you get all those tickets. Hopefully I got the website right. If I didn't, I'll run some laps at the Signature Training Academy. But the bottom line is, folks, this is a show you do not want to miss.
Tom Mitchell, what's next on the docket?
All right, speaking of you not want to miss, how about we got 7-time PPW Tag Team Champion South Philly's Finest defending against Primal Fear and the debuting Sky High. Sean, I know you're somewhat familiar with Sky High. What can you tell us about this new and exciting tag team?
I'll tell you what, I'm extremely excited to see the Dive Bomb Diego Hill come to PPW. This has been a highly sought-after recruit, somebody that PPW management's had on their radar for a very, very long time. And now to be able to bring in Diego Hill and have his tag team partner who's just as talented come along as well, I'll tell you what, this is something that is going to thrill the PPW Nation. It is a big get heading into 2022, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. Driving all the way up from North Carolina or even flying. I don't know what kind of budget these guys got, but they'll be here one way or another. Nick, what can you tell us about South Philly's Finest that hasn't already been said?
I mean, really not much. Like you said, Tom. I mean, this is one of the most prolific tag teams in not just in PPW, but certainly in independent professional wrestling. These guys have traveled all over. Again, very much like Brian Johnson, not much you're going to throw at them that they have not already seen. These guys are vets, loved by the PPW Nation. They're going to have the crowd on their side, which I think is really something that is, along with their incredible experience, prowess, and ability in the ring. When they have that crowd on their side, it gives them a kind of momentum that really not many tag teams have, and that it's hard to kind of take from them. So that's what I think I can say, and that's what makes them really special as a tag team.
Yeah,
that's just the key word there. I completely agree.
For sure.
Sean, what were you saying?
I'm just, my heart and soul right now is with South Philly's finest. Gentleman Jimmy Conway's been going through a lot lately, and he's one of the people that you always notice, back in the back of the Signature Training Academy at PPW show, you always notice fans just flocking around Jimmy Conway because he's just, the type of personality that people want to be around and that people enjoy. And, with him going through a hard time, it's great that he is the PPW Tag Team Champions right now with his partner Luca Brazzi. And, I'm just, I'm really hopeful that running into a situation, something as scary and impressive as is the force that is Primal Fear, I'm just really hopeful that that's not going to be too much and we're not going to see the end of the reign for SPF. It's a very tall task. It's the toughest one they faced since becoming champions, undoubtedly.
Absolutely agree. Go ahead, Coach.
There's just no doubt about it. And I mean, again, these guys are a team that you haven't gotten to where you get to if you're them without having answered the bell again in big time spots. But again, Primal Fear, very impressive tag team. Got a chance to watch them warm up and train prior to the show last month. And they really impressed me with their movement ability in the ring. Very polished performers. These guys definitely have a great future and a great future ahead of them in professional wrestling.
I don't want to cut in.
Bill.
I don't want to cut in, guys, and we're going to go right back to this match, but I think it's an appropriate time for something. I see Rembrandt in the comments here wanting to know if his match is going to get announced at the last minute. And, he's watching right now. I think it's probably the best time for some breaking news. What do you guys think?
I do love some breaking news. I guess I'll be the one to break it.
You're always the one to break it. Right to you, Tom Mitchell.
All right. I love it. All right. So I received word that the PPW No Limits Championship will be defended in a multi-man match this Saturday night. Now, I have not received confirmation as to who all is in the match, what kind of match it is. I just know it'll be multiple men. And Rembrandt, it certainly seems like you'll have your work cut out for you once again.
I'll tell you what, when it comes to that, this is just desserts for Rembrandt with the way he's been acting in PPW lately. And I think the PPW Nation is going to be elated to know that Rembrandt's going to have to think this one out. He's going to have to sweat it out a little bit. He doesn't exactly know who he's facing. He knows there's multiple opponents. Tom Mitchell, Coach Juliana, how do you guys prepare for a situation like that where you have no idea? You have no idea whatsoever who your opponents are going to be.
Well, some would say you don't prepare because how could you? But the one thing that Rembrandt has shown is that his ability to be a very savvy and very kind of slimy operator. You've seen time and time again him kind of get out of tight situations. And, is there reason to believe that he can't do that again? We don't know. But I think it's going to be very interesting now with this kind of veil of secrecy placed over who his possible opponents will be. How does he approach this match any different? Does he try and go about some kind of back channel side door tricks? Or does he try and take on his opponents like a regular competitor? I think we'll have to wait till Saturday to find that out. But it's going to be very interesting to see.
Tom Mitchell, on to you.
Totally agree. Yeah, Nick, you couldn't say any better, Coach. See, the thing with Rembrandt is every single match, it seems like he just finds a way. And at some point, you got to do more than just find a way. You got to dominate. You got to show out. And Rembrandt has looked, obviously, he's won pretty much every match since we've returned here at PPW. But he doesn't have that one victory in my mind where I was like, yes, Rembrandt completely dominated a match A to Z. There's no one above him. There's a lot of serious contenders right now in that No Limits division. And at any given moment, especially in these multi-man matches, Rembrandt doesn't even need the one who has to be pinned. So it's tough sledding for the champion right now.
Absolutely. So with that being said, Rembrandt, you better be on your A game. That No Limits Championship, my friend, it is in jeopardy, and no underhanded tactics. Let's see, like Tom said, let's see you show out. Let's see you prove that you are worthy of being the PPW No Limits champion. I know you got it in you. The PPW Nation knows you have it in you, and they'd like to see you do it the clean way, the classy way. Let's see. That's a challenge. I'm going to shoot it directly at you. What will you do with it this coming Saturday at PPW Reborn? So,
all right. On that note,
we got to go back.
We get back. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I think we summarized all the teams. Now we need predictions, and I kind of want to start with Coach again. Trial by fire, Coach. Can you give us a prediction for who's walking out of the PPW Tag Team Championships on Saturday?
Well, look, I mean, it's going to be really hard. It's really hard for me to pick against SPF in this spot. As much as I love Primal Fear, as much as I believe in their future in professional wrestling, I just don't see them being able to defeat a team quite like SPF. Now, as for the other guys in Sky High, they're a relative unknown in the PPW landscape. Again, I just don't think with their newness or this being their first opportunity at the PPW title, they're going to be able to overtake a team as seasoned as SPF. So I'm going to have SPF here retaining the titles.
Interesting choice, and not a bad one at all. I'll step in. I'm not going to let anybody throw me into the woods. I'm going to be prepared, and I'm ready. I'll tell you what, there's been a lot of things that I've been extremely impressed with in my time with PPW. I've been very grateful for my time with PPW. But something's come along in recent months that has rocked the PPW Nation. And I'll tell you what that is. That's Primal Fear. Primal Fear, that name isn't just a name. That name is exactly what you get when you see this trio emerge through the curtain. I'll tell you what, they're dangerous, an extremely dangerous trio. They've run through the competition thus far, gotten big victories. They're undefeated. So this is a big night and a big opportunity for these guys, and they want to continue their dominance in the world of PPW. And I'm going bold. I think we're going to have a change. As much as I'm pulling for Gentleman Jimmy Conway and Luca Brazzi, given the circumstances, I just think it's going to be too much. I think we're going to see brand new PPW Tag Team Champions this coming Saturday at Reborn.
Wow, that's a bold pick. That makes me feel a little better on my Ryan Johnson pick a little bit ago. But I would have to go with South Philly as well if I had to pick one. No disrespect to either Primal Fear or Sky High, as I think both teams are very talented. Just if you build a PPW Mount Rushmore, I think both Luca Brazzi and Jimmy Conway are on that. They're just so decorated. They've done so much here, and there's a reason they're champions. And I don't think those championships are going anywhere anytime soon.
I hope that's the case. The challenge is fierce, though, so it's going to be a contest that, again, you just have to be there in person to see what the outcome is going to be. There's no way you can figure it out in your own head without being there to see it in person. So make sure you're there this coming Saturday for a crazy night of action. Paul Bowe will be in attendance with his Slam buddies. He will also have the PPW signature trading cards, which me and Tom are in, and hopefully Coach will be in the next set, most definitely, of course. But for
Absolutely.
now, make sure you head over to ppwwrestling.com/shop and get your hands on a set of those cards if you're not able to be in attendance Saturday. But of course, your best bet is to be there Saturday. Grab those cards in person and grab autographs from all of your favorite PPW stars, who will certainly be more than happy to sign them for you at the event. Just one of the awesome things, one of the many awesome things that you get when you come out to the family atmosphere that is PPW Wrestling.
There's no doubt about that, and I can't underscore that enough. I will say this. You go to most other wrestling shows and conventions, you're going to pay a hefty price to get the superstars to sign, the competitors to sign autographs for you. PPW all free, and they're more than willing to talk with you and interact. We love the PPW Nation. We love interacting with you, so please come out. We'll sign anything you have. I know I will. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know I certainly will. Not that anybody would want my honor.
You'd be surprised, Coach. Tom Mitchell, keep us rolling in the right direction here. What else is on the docket for this madness that is coming up this Saturday?
All right, we're going to roll on some more gold on the line. Recently crowned champion Danny Moe will defend against three of her top competitors right now, and that is Cosmic, former champion Christina Marie, and the most recent champion, Adina Steele. Guys, these are 4 competitors all at the top of their game. Adina trying to rebound from a tough loss. Christina looking for her championship that she never got pinned for. And Cosmic, one of the hottest rising stars in all of PPW, all going for Danny Most championship. Coach, who do you think has the most to prove with a victory here this upcoming Saturday? Excuse me.
Well, I think at any time in a championship match, it's every competitor that has something to prove. But I think one person I'm going to really look to is Christina Marie. Christina Marie kind of making a sort of a reemergence onto the scene in the PPW women's division. She's a PPW women's stalwart. We talk about somebody who would be on a Mount Rushmore. Christina Marie definitely in that conversation. I think she has the most to prove. This is a division in the PPW women's division that has gotten younger, has gotten certainly a lot more athletic, and really has changed a lot from how it was when Christina Marie was certainly coming up. Can she come into this younger, more athletic environment and hang? I think she can, but I think those are questions that the PPW Nation is asking.
Yeah, this is the thing with Christina Marie. She's, to me, straight up, indebatably, the X factor in this contest. She still doesn't feel like she's gotten a fair chance after losing her championship. And you know what? I tend to agree. And this is another opportunity for her to be in the situation, be in a ring, and have a chance to take that gold home once again. So Christina Marie is going to be in premier physical condition. She is one of the top athletes, not only in PPW, but across the independents on the women's side of things. This girl does damage wherever she goes, and it's personal. She still feels slighted. She still feels like she didn't get a fair shake with everything that went down with when she lost her championship. And now you add in Adina Steele to this contest too, and the fact that she is getting an opportunity to get her championship back. You've got lots of personal situations that are going to explode into what I can describe pretty much as just a match that delivers a straight up big fight feel. What do you think of that, gentlemen?
Couldn't agree more. I think personal issues always make great matches, and I think again when you add the added, as you mentioned there, Sean, the added personal issues between these competitors on top of the already fierce competition that is the already fierce, competition and intensity that goes into pursuing the PPW women's title. It's nothing but a powder keg, and got to be one that certainly could explode at the Signature Training Academy on Saturday.
Guys, really quick. We have not even mentioned Cosmic yet. I truly believe 2022 will be the year of Cosmic, and this could be her coming out party of a big victory over 3 current or previous champions. I think she has a lot of things going her way, and just like how we kind of are right now, just kind of sleeping on her, letting her ride underneath the surface, she could come out and very easily win the championship this Saturday night.
Hey, you're 100% correct when you say that, Tom Mitchell, and I don't want anybody in the PPW Nation to think that Big Sean Kramer is taking a nap and sleeping on Cosmic. I was extremely impressed with Cosmic in her in-ring debut, and I immediately said to everybody on the production headsets, Cosmic is going to be a threat for a long time. And you're right, Tom Mitchell. If there's somebody that you could peg as having the potential to have a coming out party at PPW Reborn, a good solid bet that could be a moneymaker for you would be investing that into Cosmic, especially after how much she's impressed and how much upside there is to the pure talent that is Cosmic.
I'll sleep on Cosmic. She hasn't proven anything to me yet. So again, you're going in there with
wow.
Christina Marie.
Wow.
You're going in there against Danny Bo, someone who, look, you got to, this is a what have you done for me lately kind of division. And she hasn't done anything for me lately.
You better hope she's not watching, Coach. You might be in trouble. You might be in trouble. We already know Rembrandt is, so chances are word's going to get back to Cosmic right now. And I think we should probably arrange a chance for you to speak with her this coming Saturday to discuss what was just said here on the show tonight.
Listen, part of being a coach, you got to hold people accountable. And I'm just stating my opinion.
Hey, Coach, I'm glad you're holding someone accountable because I am not getting within 100 feet of when you talk to her because I feel like that could get spicy, and I don't want any parts of that. So, but
Steel cage match, Coach versus Cosmic. I'm taking Cosmic. Sorry, Coach. Love you, bud, but you're going to get destroyed. Tom Mitchell. you brought up the fact that we hadn't spoken about Cosmic yet, but how about the PPW Women's Champion, Danny Moe?
Exactly. You see, that's a beautiful thing about this women's division. There's so much great talent that the top talent even gets overlooked sometimes. Like Danny Moe, fresh off winning the PPW Women's Championship, she is on the high of her life. She really in 2021 found her footing coming out of the pandemic, and then starting off in January, a huge victory over Dina Steele, and now she is the woman to beat in the women's division, and here she is against three of the toughest competitors, and if she picks a victory here, it's like who's left for her, you know?
That's that'll be the top of the mountain, and she'll be able to sit there, look down, and just be proud of her accomplishments, as she should be. Danny Moe's impressed so many people, and Danny Moe's arrived. It's her time, and she's gonna want to keep a very tight grip on that gorgeous PPW Women's Heavyweight Championship. I'll tell you what, it's in the short time since it's been replaced and since we've been returned, or since we've been back, that is, the stock of that championship has risen tenfold. The action has been crazy within the PPW women's division, and it could sort of come to a head this coming Saturday. This four-way contest right here is pretty much showcasing all of the best of PPW's homegrown female talent. And, this is a contest that a lot of people are going to want to see, and it's time. It's that time. Who's taking it? Who's going to be PPW Women's Champion by the end of this? Coach, trial by fire is right. You're up first, buddy.
I think it's a great question. Look, there's no question. If you enjoy great female professional wrestling, this is a match that you need to see. I mean, you're talking about four great competitors going at it. I think Danny Moe is going to retain her. I think she's got all the momentum on her side. I think, like you said, Tom, she is riding a high that I think is that she's riding this kind of wave of momentum that I think when competitors get in that wave of momentum, that is, that emotion. Also, you got to think too, she's probably getting trained by Facade as well. I just think all those kind of factors coming together, I think it's going to be very, very hard to stop her in this match.
Tom Mitchell, it's your time.
Coach, very, very well said, but I really like Christina Marie in this contest, personally. I think 2022 is the year of Cosmic, but not quite yet. I think it's Christina's time to reassert herself as the dominant women's champion, arguably the greatest woman wrestler in PPW history.
I'm going to clap for that, Tom Mitchell, because that's exactly what I wanted to say. We could even move on, because you literally said every point I wanted to touch on when it was my turn to make the choice. So kudos to you on being a great broadcast journalist, my friend.
Hey, great minds think alike. That's all I can say to that. All right,
hey,
but
Coach, you're still in trouble. You're still in trouble.
Yep.
Let's get a genuine facial reaction on what's coming for you on Saturday.
All right.
All right, Tom Mitchell, back to you, my friend.
All right, let's move on to our fifth and final championship match of the night. It will be Fox Vineyard, the leader of Sins, going one-on-one with Griffin McCoy. Sean, you know Griffin. What can you tell us about Griffin McCoy that has not already been said?
He's top guy. Is again, I sound like a broken record when I say some of the things that I say on these types of shows, but it's not just a moniker. Griffin McCoy is a top guy, and we're just getting to know Griffin here in PPW. I've seen this guy do some real impressive things other places. He's well-traveled at this point, becoming a young veteran, and he's looking to make an impact here in PPW. And championship gold, many people wouldn't expect championship gold to be available to somebody this early in their PPW career, but that just shows you the type of talent that you're dealing with a guy like top guy Griffin McCoy. He belongs in championship matches. This guy wins championships. I'm going right to my prediction on this one, and we can continue talking about it, but Griffin McCoy is going to take that title from Fox Vineyard. Joe Davis isn't going to be able to stop it. No one's going to be able to stop it. I think it's the top guy's time to show the PPW Nation just how great of a talent he truly is.
There's no doubt about it. Griffin McCoy is a guy who, obviously he's really come on the scene, performing at an extremely high level in combat zone wrestling, and is going to really, I think, bring an interesting dynamic to the division in terms of a guy that's very powerful but can move for someone as big as he is. But again, I think Fox Vineyard is a guy he's a veteran, very well traveled. This guy knows PPW inside and out. He's been in the PPW ring for a very long time. He's held the championship for as long as he has for a reason. He's a very good competitor, very seasoned competitor. He knows how to win in big spots. And I just am concerned, and I just don't have the confidence that Griffin McCoy at this stage in his career is experienced enough to go into a match like this, both on the preparation end, the weeks leading up to and day of. Is he ready? Is he experienced? I just don't see it.
You see, you mentioned something about being fast and powerful. That is exactly what I think of when I think of Fox Vineyard. So, Coach, I'm going to have to agree with you. I am a big fan of Griffin McCoy. He's another one of those guys who's on my top prospects to watch in 2022. A fictional list, of course, I don't actually have. But I think that Griffin McCoy is a very good competitor. But Fox, especially with Joe Davis in his corner, pulling some tricks, with Sins backing him up, I think Fox retains here.
I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear anything about Joe Davis. I don't want to see Joe Davis. I don't want JD mentioned. I don't want to hear anything about Sins. I don't want to hear anything about the TV championship. I don't want to hear anything about anything to do with Joseph B. Davis III. And I'll tell you what, this past Sunday, Griffin McCoy beat Rich Swann. Come on, man. I picked the right one here. Let's just be honest, guys. This is my Stone Cold lock of the night.
Stone Cold lock on Griffin McCoy. Wow.
Yeah, I'm going all in, boys. All in.
All in on the top guy. I love the confidence, man. I just don't know, because Fox Vineyard is just so proven around these parts. Ring of Honor star, Impact star. He's done it all. He's 15, 16-year vet. He's been doing this forever, and he's just getting better with age. I don't see how you can pick against him.
Well, the talent in the ring can't be denied. Fox Vineyard is one of the absolute best, a legend in PPW for sure, no doubt about it. But something's wrong up top. Something's changed up top, and getting a guy like Joe Davis is not going to do him any favors. And that's the X factor. That's what you have to watch for.
I mean, look, as much as Joe Davis is we all have our opinions of him, but you can't deny this man has gotten Fox Vineyard to really perform at a level that he has not performed at in his career. And I think a lot of that has to deal with Joe Davis. This is a guy who, again, say what you want about him, does a very good job of getting the best out of his competitors. And I think his involvement in Fox's preparation, also his involvement, but more so his involvement in the preparation for Fox is very important, just as important as what he'll be on the match day. But I think, we cannot underestimate how that has changed Fox Vineyard's career.
It's a good point. But Griffin's still going to take it.
All right, before we argue about this all day, let's move on to some of our non-title matches. And, hey, let's start with a PPW dream match, in my opinion, and in many fans' opinions. Two heavyweights, former PPW heavyweight champions, Alpha Jr. versus Mike Orlando. Coach, this one is going to blow the roof off the building.
There is no question about that. I think we might have to call the National Guard, State Police, to try and make sure they lock that place down. Because if there's one thing we know, when Alpha gets in that ring, there's going to be debris flying everywhere. And you talk about going up against a guy like Mike Orlando, who, again, we talk about consistently on this preview show. People that are stalwarts and really pillars, if you will, of PPW. Mike Orlando, certainly one of those guys. And, when you talk about two, you mentioned it before we came on, a hoss fight, two guys that are very evenly matched, very similar styles. How are they going to scout each other? How are they going to prepare? And then how are they going to adjust to each other during the course of the match? Going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I'll tell you what, this is, you wanted a hoss fight. You want something that's going to really shake the rafters of this place. You said it best, Tom Mitchell. This is going to blow the roof off the building. Alpha Jr., I've said on a bunch of previous preview shows, I've called this man the heart and soul of PPW since the return. Every single month, Alpha finds himself in a situation where the audience at the Signature Training Academy just comes unglued. There's a lot of love in Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania for the Samoan Storm, and the only person I think maybe in PPW right now that could potentially match the amount of love that exists for the Samoan Storm Alpha Jr. is Mike Orlando. The one thing I'm most interested in with this contest is just to see what type of building we're going to be in, what type of atmosphere it's going to be. Who's going to have more support? Is there going to be an emotional attachment? Are the fans going to be torn up over what they're watching because these are two of their absolute favorites? I mean, there's a lot of different factors that play into this thing here. Because guys like Orlando and guys like Alpha rely on the energy of the PPW Nation to fuel their efforts in these contests. And what do you guys think? Where do you guys think this building's going to stand? What's the support factor going to be here?
Well, look, I saw it when with Moose and Jonah. I saw it, Alpha versus PCO. If there's one thing that the PPW Nation loves, it's a good hoss fight, and it's certainly going to be this one. I have no reason to believe at all. I mean, I think PPW Nation is going to be absolutely unglued for this event, for this match. I think, I think the crowd's going to be going wild.
Tom Mitchell, as far as Mike Orlando goes, role of his career for sure. But when's the last time you remember Mike Orlando dealing with a situation like this and dealing with someone like Alpha Jr.?
Well, you see, I've been around PPW since 2018, and honestly, the last time I can even think of a remote comparison would be when Mike Orlando had his war against Jack Swagger, or Jake Hager now in AEW. I would say that's about the only similar comparison, just an absolute house fight, and a match that's been brewing on forever. And this just gives me that similar vibe. Former WWE superstar, huge man, just wants to club you, wants to take you out. The only thing I know for certain is that the roof's going to be blown off the building. That is the only thing I know is going to happen in this match, and there's probably chairs flying. I'm like 75% confident.
That was going to be my next question, boys. Do we know a status on the Replace the Chairs fund over at the Signature Training Academy? I heard the funds have been depleted quite a bit over recent months. Has there been a cash infusion? Are things good there? Do we have enough seats for the PPW Nation after all the breaking we've been doing in recent months?
Well, as a sports bettor, I think we could set the over-under at 10 chairs being used as a prop bet for the PPW.
PPW's resident bookie up here, Coach Juliana, setting the lines. My goodness. Buy in on this one, folks. But the one thing that you need to buy in on before you buy in on anything else is a ticket to this event. And the only place to get one right this moment is head to ppwwrestling.com/shop. Get it right now, secure your seat, be there for the madness that's going to be here, and be here when there's a potential for fractures to happen in the middle of the ring, on the ropes, on the posts, when we see a hoss fight like no other between Alpha Jr. and Mike Orlando this coming Saturday. It's going to be nuts, boys. No doubt about it.
Absolutely, man. No better place to watch professional wrestling at the highest levels than the Signature Training Academy in Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania. You do not want to miss it. You need to be there.
For sure. But, boys, it's prediction time, and we're flipping the script. Tom Mitchell, you're up.
Well, you're flipping at me first. Wow, okay. I was not ready for this. I was still trying to think this over my mind, but just going off my gut, what I'm initially thinking, my gut is telling me Alpha. Now, this could change by the time Saturday comes around, but as of now, at this moment, I'm locking in Alpha. The Samoan Storm, former WWE superstar, really, you said it best, the heart and soul of PPW, man. He is on the roll of his life. I think he is in the best shape of his life, too. And I'm even talking about his WWE days. He looks fantastic. He's moving fantastic. His Samoan streak never went anywhere. It might have only gotten even worse. And I mean that in the best way possible. Alpha, please don't kill me next time you see me. That was supposed to be a compliment. But, yeah. Nothing against Mike Orlando. Mike Orlando, 3-time PPW heavyweight champion for a reason. But this is Alpha Jr.'s match to lose.
It is. And Alpha Jr. is a man that's essentially been undefeated since we've been back. So, winning this contest could be like a game changer as far as the trajectory of Mike Orlando here. We saw last month he took Alexander Hammerstone literally to the limit. That match did not end in a decisive fashion in any sort of way. So Orlando's riding high even off of a loss, but it's show me time. He's got a. This contest is a unique one. He's had great performances month after month after month, but he has to put together some more consistent wins in order to take that step and move to the next level and potentially put himself into heavyweight championship contention again. So, look for Mike Orlando to come out swinging, and I'd even call it an upset, but I'm gonna go off the wall here, and I'm gonna say that I think Mike Orlando is gonna do what many would call the impossible and be the first to defeat Alpha Jr. since we've been back.
That's a big prediction. That's a huge prediction, and I think one that again, if you watch the tape from the Hammerstone match, I don't think that is too far off. I think Orlando really showed very, very well in that match. I just don't think going up against a guy like you said, Tom. I mean, Alpha Jr. is and has really hit his stride. He is at the part of his career where most professional wrestlers start hitting their stride. I think he's got the right mix of experience and the right mix of being, like you said, the best shape of his life. I just don't see how he loses in this spot. This is the spot that he's been in time and time again, and that guys like him, especially him, do not lose.
Wow. There you have. We got a split house on this one too. I think it's such a huge opportunity for Orlando, and I think that the reaction within the Signature Training Academy when this happens, I think might be up there as far as all-time moments within PPW history. I'm hoping, I already called my Stone Cold Lock, but this is close. This would be like number 2. The spirit of Orlando is riding high right now, and it's going to be hard to slow that train down. It's going to be really hard. Alpha's up there too, but there's a lot of emotional stuff coming out of Orlando right now, and some of his best work ever, and that's a lot. That's a lot to deal with.
There's no doubt about it. But again, I just don't see from a momentum standpoint, you need to go into a match like this with the win. Despite the great performance, I think it's really hard to manufacture the momentum you need to get a win like this off of a loss.
All right. Well, the only way to find out what's going to go down in that great, great high-level world-class contest, again, is to be in attendance this coming Saturday. So make sure you get those tickets and be there with us.
All right, so we're going to move on to our next match now because we can talk about that house fight all night. But I don't want to keep you guys here all night. So moving on, we got PPW star Action Andretti against GCW star Jordan Oliver. These are two very young, up-and-coming prospects who are making absolute waves through independent wrestling. And I'm going to be honest, I am pumped for this one. This has all the makings of an instant classic show-stealing performance. Big Sean, what do you think?
You've done it again. You stole my words. It doesn't have all the makings, though. I'm going to correct you slightly in that this is the show-stealing classic. This is going to be, this is going to be a match that you're going to have to hold yourself down to the edge of your seat because you're going to want to jump up, you're going to want to scream, you're going to want to yell. I'll tell you what. Jordan Oliver's been setting the world on fire in GCW. GCW's just been on fire in general, and Jordan Oliver's a huge part of the reason for the success of GCW. He comes here to PPW with a chip on his shoulder, and usually Oliver doesn't care too much for protecting himself. He's willing to take crazy risks, and that's part of what's made him so successful. But he's coming into PPW. He's riding high, rolling into PPW right here. And he's running into a guy, Action Andretti, who, if there's anybody who has a bigger chip on his shoulder, that guy is undoubtedly Action Andretti. This guy is damn good, and I'll tell you what, he knows it. And he's not afraid to tell everybody that he sees exactly how good he is. And I'll tell you what, one thing he does extremely well is show the PPW Nation exactly how good he is each and every time we get the opportunity to see him. This will be the show-stealing match of the night. Mark my words.
There's absolutely no doubt about that, Sean. And I would agree. I'm watching some of Jordan Oliver's stuff, in GCW. He has totally been setting the world on fire, put on a great performance at the world against GCW, a great fluid mover, going to be interesting. These guys' styles are very much the same. And I think one thing you have to understand is Jordan Oliver is not your typical GCW wrestler. This is a guy who is not going to use the weapons a lot. He's going to use his ability in the ring. And again, a guy that's got a tremendous potential and one that I'm very excited to see in a PPW ring. Got to give a huge hats off to the PPW management for attracting this star to our ring.
Absolutely. These guys do a great job of bringing the absolute best action you can find anywhere to you, right you, in the PPW Nation, and we are so excited to be rolling into Reborn. Tom Mitchell, what do you feel about this contest?
Well, personally, I feel like you have two guys both in their early 20s with a lot to prove, not to anyone, just to themselves, because they've already proved a bunch to wrestling fans everywhere. And these are just two guys who are going to go out there and they're going to make absolute magic, both highly innovative, both athletic as anybody else on the roster or nearly the world, I'd say. You could make an argument these are two of the best athletes in all professional wrestling. And they're just going to go out there and they're going to tear the house down. And the real winner here is not going to be who gets their hand raised in the night. It's going to be the PPW Nation. And the loser is going to be whoever doesn't get their tickets to the event.
Well put, my friend. Well put, my friend. You are right 100%. So, it's that time. It's that time, and I'm going to go first because, I'll put myself in the fire. Action Andretti is taking this contest for sure. Action Andretti's impressed so many, and I think we're just starting to see the meteoric rise of Action Andretti kick off, and I think that starts to move into overdrive. And what better way to do that than to defeat a guy like Jordan Oliver, a guy that's got the buzz like Jordan Oliver does. This is a huge opportunity for Action Andretti, and he's going to be ready for it, and he's taking home the win this coming Saturday.
Well, hard for me to refute that. Actually, Andretti is a performer that's certainly on the rise, but Jordan Oliver been performing very well, going to be a great one, but I would have to agree with you, Sean. I think it's going to be a tightly held bout, but I think actually Andretti ultimately comes out on the other side, the victor.
I want to address something real quick in the comments, and I apologize for the delay to do so on this show, but I want to shout out Jim Smash. He's asking, where's Chelsea Green? Just want to let everybody know in the PPW Nation, Chelsea Green is going to be working the NWA taping, so she has rescheduled. She will be with us, and stay tuned for announcements on when you will get to see the hot mess Chelsea Green make her PPW debut. That will be coming in the very near future.
Absolutely. And again, folks, highest level competitors come to PPW, and that's not just they don't blow us off for anybody, right? That's a bit. So again, cannot understate that. And if you want to see the best professional wrestling, you come to PPW. You want to see the same guys you see on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, you can see them all in the PPW ring in Broadheadsville.
For sure. Tom Mitchell.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, you guys both picked Action, and I hate to do this, but I'm picking Jordan Oliver. You can't be. This is a guy who's been in MLW, Major League Wrestling. He is currently in GCW. He is willing to put his body through whatever. And I know Action Andretti is a daredevil. He'll throw his caution to the wind, but Jordan Oliver is next level, man. I think that he's going to have just that one extra big move that Andretti can't quite match. But in reality, the winner's going to be the fans, as I mentioned before.
It seems like that's a common trend when you talk about happenings within the PPW Nation. The winner is always the fans, and we roll on and just wait. You better be in the building this Saturday. We've said it on social media. Since New Beginnings ended, we've told you better be here for the debut of Killer Cross. You better be here for all the action. You better be here for all the glitz. You better be here for all the fun. You better be here for all the slams. You better be here for everything that is PPW, which is something that can never be missed.
Right. And speaking of debuts, we have a debut.
I didn't want to talk about this.
I
thought we weren't going to talk about this. I asked you not to talk about this. This is going to creep me out.
We got to talk about every match, though. And
no.
One of the matches is the debut of Dark STG, the man who has been causing absolute havoc here in PPW ever since October. I don't know. He has my days all blurred up. But he will be in the ring. A ref will be in the ring. And a match will happen with STG. And I feel so sorry for whoever his opponent is.
Yeah, who's the guy that drew the short straw? Who's the guy that has the worst luck humanly imaginable, I guess? I wouldn't want to be that guy. This is Dark STG. Just, the only way to put it is this man makes me uncomfortable. The lights go out, bad things happen. What happened to where's Tasha Steelz? Where did he take her? What's his agenda in PPW? Who's he after? He's gone after like a variety of everybody. Like I have no idea where this guy stands. I have no idea what runs through this guy's brain, and honestly, I have no idea what to think or where to hide, because you really can't tell what his move's going to be. You really can't tell what's on his agenda.
Well, as you know, and I'm sure we will show this to PPW Nation, I've been doing my own investigation into the disappearance of Tasha Steelz. And listen, what I found out about Dark STG is it's disturbing. And this is a guy that should not be messed with, should be taken very seriously. He's a guy that I worry. I don't think he's good for PPW. I'll just say that. That's all I'll say. I don't think he's good for us.
It's dark truth, but it almost needs to be said. Tom Mitchell, you like lost all your color right as soon as we started talking about this guy. What's going through your heart? What's going through your mind? What's going through your soul right now?
Well, I'm just thinking about like every interaction I've ever seen that man. I have not even really been within like 5 feet of that man, but anytime I've been even remotely close, like I just get the weirdest feeling inside, and he just freaks me out. Him, his manager who was there last month, who also freaks me out as well. Just the two of them together, especially, they just give me the weirdest vibes. And Coach, you said it best. They're just not good for PPW, and I feel so bad for whoever has to step in the ring with them.
Yeah, and I feel like they might need medical attention afterwards. So I hope PPW manager is prepared for that, because this is a somber. Do you have anything better to talk? Can we just move on?
We can, and we can move
be there.
on.
Dark STG is crazy, but just be aware of your surroundings during those few moments where he probably destroys whoever is unlucky enough to draw that short straw this coming Saturday.
Well, okay, if we can pick up the mood, and I think I got one match that absolutely can. A dream match. I know I said this before, but this is an honest dream match anywhere in the world. Put this on a card. It's the main event on any show in the world. Killer Cross, Davey Richards. First time ever. Coach, I'm amped for this. How are you feeling about this contest?
I'm fired up, man. It's going to be a very, very good contest. And again, we talk about two competitors that are at the elite level of professional wrestling, going to go against each other for the first time in the PPW ring. Shows the amount of respect that both of them have for the PPW and then the competitors that make up its roster. But it's going to be very interesting. Killer Cross, have not seen him since NXT. Has he changed what he has done? Has he refreshed himself? What new things has he learned in his time off? Going to be very interesting to see. I think Davey Richards is a guy riding a high in the professional wrestling world, a guy who's doubled down on his commitment to Major League Wrestling, an Opera Cup winner, a guy very much in the elite kind of title picture and landscape in Major League Wrestling. He's going to come to PPW. Going to be very interesting to see how he's prepared himself, because this is a guy who's incredibly intense, incredibly smart, a very cerebral competitor. It's going to be very interesting to see how these two match up and what how they've prepared and how they adjust throughout the course of the match.
For sure. That's a story you have to keep your eyes on. But Davey Richards has done so much since he's come to PPW. He's started to get the best of Casey Navarro, and he's winning match after match after match after match. But what makes this contest most interesting is Killer Cross has had some time to sit at home, train, eat, proper nutrition, not have the rigors of being on the road all the time, not have to live that wrestler's life while he sat out those 90 days. That time is up now. This is a healthy Killer Cross, and you have to wonder, with the toughness that is that WWE schedule and everything that comes with being a WWE superstar, you have to wonder if we're going to be seeing a Killer Cross that's better than ever. And in the event that we do see a Killer Cross that's better than ever, is that something that Davey Richards is prepared for? Because I feel like that sort of rest and that sort of time to recuperate could be the thing that creates a next level Killer Cross. And current Killer Cross could compete with any athlete in this entire world. Imagine if these thoughts are true, and that's the type of Killer Cross we get this coming Saturday.
Well, look, I mean, you're absolutely right, Sean. You look at across all sports, not just professional wrestling, the best when they come off of an injury usually perform at an extremely high level. And look at Clay Thompson, look at several other athletes that have come off. Look at Joe Burrow this year, right, coming off of a catastrophic injury going to the Super Bowl. I have no reason to believe that, coming off the injury that we can't see, coming off of an injury, coming off a long time off, Killer Cross not absolutely be a beast.
It's going to be one for the ages for sure. Tom Mitchell, how you feeling?
Well, you mentioned Killer Cross being in possibly the best shape of his life. You could also have the counter argument that Killer Cross, you don't know what he's been doing these past 90 days. Well, I've seen on Twitter at least, he's been training, he's been working out, he's been doing plenty of conditioning, and he looks fantastic, but you don't know if he's been in a ring. You don't know how that first bump he takes is going to feel. It's been 90 days since he's had a wrestling match. Davey Richards, week in, week out, has been one of the pillars of PPW since we returned, one of the pillars of MLW, Uppercut winner, PPW Golden Ticket winner. So Killer Cross better be ready for a fight because Davey Richards is absolutely going to bring it.
Davey Richards always brings it. That's what you never get less than 167%, no less than that from the American Wolf, Davey Richards. And I know it's a random number, but it needed to be something high, and it needed to be something that stood out, because that's what Davey Richards does in PPW and everywhere else he goes. If anybody's going to be ready for an improved Killer Cross, Davey Richards absolutely is that guy. And, Cross has already had a little bit of action. He's, been around the past couple of weekends. His 90-day, expired. He had a banger of a contest with Flip Gordon, recently at WrestlePro, was absolutely destructive in that one. So, you know what? This is a showdown for the ages. A first-time ever dream match is an understatement when it comes to this one. And the moneymakers in Vegas, if there were lines on this one, they'd be dead even, and it'd be a pick 'em. It wouldn't be one to invest in. It's hard to pick somebody to get a clear track here because both athletes are so close and so even. But I'm going to go out on a limb right here, and I'm going to say that Davey Richards has the potential to shock the world and call and make what he calls his home, PPW, extremely proud when Killer Cross comes in and tries to establish dominance in his first appearance.
That's what Wolf's got to do. When someone comes and attacks the den, you got to establish dominance.
That coming from a coach, it's got to be true. What do you think, Tom Mitchell?
Well, being a Wolf's fun and all, but sometimes the killer prevails. And I think Killer Cross, I do believe that you guys' points were making earlier, that Killer Cross will be absolutely 1,000% ready in the best shape of his life, best wrestling of his life. And Davey Richards, he'll bounce back, but he won't be victorious.
On the record right now is Tom Mitchell. But it's time to put the coach on the record. Well, who you got?
Davey Richards. I think Davey Richards is hitting a stride in his career that when performers hit it, it's unreal. I think he's gotten the proper reps. He's in that proper ring shape, and I just think with Killer Cross all the time off, although he's slowly getting back into it, I just don't think he's quite there yet. So I think Davey Richards ultimately gets the best of him in the PPW ring.
One thing that's for certain is what you've got here is you've got a wolf and you've got a killer. Those are two things that are very close to the top of the food chain. And where do you see action that's at the top of the wrestling food chain? That's right here, right at Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling. This Saturday, Reborn at the Signature Training Academy is going to be potentially one of our greatest events of all time. I hate to overhype things, but it's just the truth. You've heard the card. It's nuts. It's the place to be. Limited tickets are left. Front row's gone 100%. Everything else is in extremely limited quantities. The only way to ensure that you're not shut out when those doors open at the Signature Training Academy is right now, even during this show, right now. Head to ppwwrestling.com/shop, type it in, click order, secure your seat, and be there with us as history is made this Saturday.
Hey, Big Sean, really quick, before we sign off or anything, I just got breaking news coming in of one more match being added to the card from my source.
You're nuts. You're nuts. It gets better.
I love
No way.
One more match. All right. So, guys, get this. Joey Martinez, with, of course, Mr. Ruda in his corner, against former PPW television champion Andy Header. All right, Coach, initial reaction.
Well, look, I think Mr. Martinez is going to get an opportunity to finally respond. We've seen some kind of marred in controversy. Ruda bringing in the new tag team partner, some issues in the past couple months with Joey Martinez in big spots. I think this is very much a spotlight's going to be on Joey again. Can he produce against a PPW legend in Andy Header? Going to be very, very, very interesting to see, especially with Mr. Ruda kind of perusing and kind of in the picture. How does he play into all this? I can't wait to see it.
He needs to win. The closer, Joey Martinez, needs to actually do what his name is. He needs to close. And Mr. Ruda is feeling the pressure himself as well, because there just, hasn't been a lot of success for those folks. They've been on the brink numerous times, had championship chances, had chances at more championship chances, but there just isn't a close. There hasn't been a closing. Is this going to be the one? Is this going to be the day where we finally see the closer close? What do you think, Tom Mitchell?
Well, you guys are talking about how Joey Martinez needs to win. Andy Header needs to win just as badly to regain his PPW television championship, or at least get back into contention for the television championship that he so desperately wants to hold once again. You see, I know Martinez, you guys brought up great points about Joey. He definitely needs to have a rebound as well here, but I think Andy comes out scrappy. I think Andy has to come out vicious, and this is going to be like a much more intense Andy Header than I think any of us are ready for.
Yeah, I mean, he calls himself nobody better than Andy Header. That's what he says, and like you said, he needs to win in the worst sort of way. It's not looking that way lately, and Andy Header's real frustrated. So yeah, he's going to come out firing on all cylinders, and when he's at the peak, when he comes out firing on all cylinders, when there's no distractions, nobody better is a sort of a reasonable explanation when it comes to Andy Header. So let's see if that's the Andy Header we get this coming Saturday. I'll tell you what, we may see Andy Header come out on top here. He may get that win he's looking for. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Well, no doubt. I mean, Andy Header, look, this guy's a vet. Not much you're going to throw at him that he hasn't already seen and hasn't already been able to adjust to. So it's really going to be very interesting. But I think, again, we talk about hungry dog runs faster, right? And I think Joey Martinez is looking to finally get an opportunity. That's why I'm going to like him here in this match.
Okay. I was going to ask you to go on the record. You just did it. You just did it voluntarily. So, Tom Mitchell, it's your turn. Go on the record. Are we going to see a closing, or is Andy Header going to come out on top? Come on, Swami.
Hey, I'm gonna agree with Coach here. I think it's closing time. I think that Joey Martinez needs that statement win to right the ship. Andy Header does just as much, but I think Martinez, especially with Ruda in his corner, Mr. Ruda, excuse me, please don't have your boys beat me up, Mr. Ruda. But I believe that it's Joey Martinez's time to finally right the wrongs and right the ship.
Yeah, it's three of a kind tonight. It's three of a kind on this one. I think it's closing time too. Martinez needs this win in the worst sort of way, and with Ruda in tow and all the changes that are coming to Team Ruda and all the interesting developments we've seen, I think it's finally that time. It's going to be Joey Martinez's night. So, boys, we've been going for a while now. We've covered anything and everything Reborn, but I want to make a breaking. I got breaking news. It's not only you that gets breaking news around these parts, Tom Mitchell. So, guess what, folks? Friday night, we're back on Fight TV.
Oh, let's go.
Let's go.
8 p.m. and you are not going to want to miss it. Like I said, New Beginnings was nuts. You guys were there. Those of you who were in attendance had your socks blown off. And now it's time for the world to get their socks blown off. Make sure you order PPW New Beginnings this coming Friday on Fight TV. $9.99, you own it forever. It's one of the best investments you could make. Support the best wrestling around. Order that stream. We'll share a highlight package with you sometime tomorrow with the link to order the stream direct. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But that's the breaking news. We're back on Fight this Friday where we belong.
Absolutely. You do not. That is going to be the best $9.99 you will spend this year. Actually, no, it'll be best $9.99 you spend this month until next month when you spend it again.
Ah, yes. Yes, yes, yes. That's broadcast journalism right there. That's Coach Uniana. He's the man. What a night, folks. Tom Mitchell, send us out of here on fire.
Oh, guys, thank you so much for everybody for joining us tonight. We have fantastic time breaking all news, breaking down all the matches. And, hey, we'll see you all Saturday.
It's the place to
be. I love you, PPW Nation, baby.
That's it. Take it easy, folks. We'll see you Saturday.